Hey everyone, April 20th, 2026. I am here at the South March BESS site. I have been hanging out here for a little bit and enjoying the sunset. You can see over on this side, over the rolling hills and the amazing forage fields there. So we're at the South March BESS site. There's some deer they might be in the shade there, you can't really see them. I was watching some turkey vultures that were flying over. The hawk is back tonight again, or the bird of prey. I'm pretty sure it's a hawk, but it is a bird of prey. He's been hunting over the creek again. Creek's over there. Evolution, Brookfield, GIP, whoever's on site. They've been doing some Halloween decorating again today, so there's more construction fencing around, and also more black temporary fencing there. They did have the heavy excavator down one of the laneways, and I did want to share a little bit of a funny story, because I think, you know, storytelling is really key to sharing how incredible this land is. Yes, are you excited to hear too? So yesterday I was walking through the fields, and I walked through one of the really big deep ditches that honestly overflow during high water times, and it is anyways, I jumped down in there and came face to face with a huge female turkey. We were just as equally scared and startled. And she took off running one way. I stood there stunned for a minute and climbed up the ditch the other way, and off we went. But again, this is just some of the great stories that come from these lands. So I did say that, oh, there's some ducks, a mama and a papa. And hi guys. And so I did yesterday state that I was going to share some news with you. And so sometimes I like to throw darts at the board because Evolution and Brookfield, they can be a little bit predictable at times. In a good way, in a bad way, it can go either way. But threw a dart at the board, knew that there is no way that those aggregate trucks and trailers and everything, heavy equipment, would be going up those rock faces, going into the lot. And so I asked the city of Ottawa if they had plans for blasting. There were, from what I remember and I recall, because I think this would have been a bigger point, there was nothing said in any of the plans, any of the community meetings, in quotation, that were very heavily censored by Brookfield and Evolution and had zero city support. Nothing was ever said about blasting over this vulnerable aquifer. A reminder that we are over a vulnerable aquifer that provides water to not only countless families around here, but also livestock, and it also helps us water our food. Many people do rely on self-sufficiency out here, and so water is a human right, and water is very sensitive around here. And this is one of the key pieces that has been brought up in the courts, is the risk to this and whether it aligns with the PPS, which is the provincial policy statement. And so the city did state that they are doing blasting, and that they will be blasting for a few days. They aren't sure when, but it is exactly where I suspected it to be, at the very least, that they are admitting to now. I personally would not be surprised if there were some other areas on the land based on some of the project footprints that they might come into problems and need to blast then. However, until we find out more, to be determined. So yeah, none of the neighbors, none of the community, none of the planning documents that we recall ever had anything about blasting. In fact, Evolution Brookfield, they tout in front of council multiple times, in front of community members multiple times, on the record multiple times, that the land will be restored to its natural condition, to its original condition after this project is done. I'm not sure about you, but I have a suspicion that after you blast Canadian Shield, it is going to be really hard to crazy glue back together. Really hard. I also find it very hard to believe that the stream they want to divert, they are diverting a waterway for this, will be put back to its original condition. I find it very hard to believe that the trees that have taken years, decades to grow will be replaced to its original state. Again, this company has been caught in so many errors, omissions, that we don't even know what's true anymore. Our expertise isn't listened to because we're too close to the project. Our expertise, despite people spending whole careers in the specialty, will not be counted because they're too close to the project. If you don't have the right letters behind your name, but you know the information, it won't be counted. This is how residents are treated in these projects. We like to think that our project is big and our project is the major problem. But at the end of the day, we know that our project is just a piece of the bigger problem. Our project is a sign of what's happening all across Ontario right now with these energy projects. And again, it's not that we're against renewables. It's about that they're doing them incorrectly. They're ruining water tables, they're causing health problems, and they're inadequately placed. If this battery energy storage facility was in an industrial area with proper emergency response protocols, with proper land below it that might be already contaminated should anything happen, that's okay. But instead, the provincial government, and also we're seeing it in the federal government now. It doesn't matter what party it is at this point. This isn't a battle against parties. This is the governments that are taking your power away. We've seen bill after bill go through Parliament and in Toronto, taking away our rights for consultation, taking away our rights for appeal, taking away our rights, even in some areas for water. So this is concerning. And I want to make sure that everyone has their eyes open here, that we are raising the alarm. This is not about us. This is about everybody. And so we are trying to make a precedence of residents saying enough is enough. And how do we do that? our community is bringing it to court. We are in court right now against this. And so please, the WCCA, the not-for-profit that was created, has asked me to share their GoFundMe page. It will be in the comments. So please consider donating. Every dollar goes towards this cause, and we would be forever grateful of it. And please, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please send it to me. As of now, I receive